But here to help us put it all in perspective, our investment pros, small biz expert Susan Solovic is back with us. Nice to have you, Susan. Hey, Jim Frischling, president of NewOak Capital, Hillary Kramer, CIO and president of. So that brings us to our next real deal. We had Zillow, GoPro. They both popped. We had an IPO box that did very well on its initial public offering. Jim, what do you make of it all?
I mean, look, I think we're in a very the backdrop for the markets are going to be positive. I'm talking about the Fed. I'm talking about the ECB. I'm talking about.
But that's old news, though.
Well, not the ECB is not old news. And Hillary made the point that savers are going to continue to get hurt. So now people have to look and where they're going to put money into this market. I will tell you, though, the Box IPO, while God bless them for soaring, I can't believe how much we're celebrating a company that's only losing $120 million and improving on that. But I do understand they're a hot company. People are looking for that beta, meaning that extra oomph they're going to get, and they're going to look for it in some of these tech companies.
People always look. I think people want to make money. I think they're okay right now with chasing, because they're not making any money in the bank.
Well, maybe these other companies should give stuff away free also, like Box does, and then the markets will really like their business plan.
Yeah.
Yes, give it away for free.
Give it away for free. We heard that
like
before.
government.
So on that note, let's talk about investments. How do we stop that doomsday clock from ever striking midnight, and how do we make money from it, Jim?
Well, I mean, there are a number of factors, I think, that are causing the doomsday clock to get closer. Terrorism is one, cybersecurity. Oil, to me, is something that's causing an issue. Because it's putting countries like Russia and Venezuela in great stress. So to me, if we're going to move this clock the other way and slow it down, a company like Shell was the company I was picking, because if oil makes a comeback, my feeling is that's going to actually reduce some of the tension globally. Russia is in a corner. They need a way out, and with the economic sanctions and the plummeting of oil, they're a very dangerous threat right now.
Royal Dutch?
Royal Dutch, good reserves.
What's the stock symbol, RD?
RDS.
RDS.
Yes, sorry, I'm trying to have it in front.
We'll get it.
RDS, yes.
Okay, because a lot of people who listen on the radio always
Yes.
want to know what are the symbols. I mean, that was the day you weren't feeling well. You say you like Staples. How you feeling now?
I'm feeling okay, but again, this is a difficult story. Starboard is the one who's pushing for the merger. There's a lot of activity between Staples and Office Depot. They already successfully got Office Depot and Office Max together, and they're pushing hard. And I do like their activist bit. So watch this thing, and I'm going to stay with it. I'm staying.
All right, listen. I'm okay. GameStop is still around. Best Buy is still around. So the contrarian thing works a little bit. And I can't find a better place to get a file cabinet. So I'm with you. Okay, I'm not in the stock, but I'm rooting for you.
I think that, first of all, Greece exit is below 25%, and I think even if the party that is promising all of this reform, I think they're going to get elected, and they're going to start to back off because Germany's not letting them out of these austerity measures. In terms of the U.S., I agree. I think we are heading down a bad path. We're a country like others that don't want to take pain. So when things are going wrong, we want to throw more money at it. But I do agree we're a very long ways away.
Here's the thing, Jim. The thing is that with the money printing, the economies don't have to improve per se if the theory is that they're just going to pump the market up and pump assets up.
That's correct. And I think I chose Nestle in part because I believe they have 45% of their sales are to developed countries. They have a strong balance sheet. And when the money printing is going on, these companies actually get stronger. They can start borrowing cheap, buying back stock. Some of the manipulation or some of the activities that you may not say supports a great company, but the fact is it is good for the stock price. So I think Nestle is one of the leading food companies in the world with great brands, is going to benefit from the cheap money that's going to be printed in Europe.
All right. Having said that, guys, before we go away, would you, Monday, if someone's watching the show and they say, okay, would you still focus on an American stock, or would you say just to take a small portion of your portfolio, maybe a 10%, and put it in a European stock just because those stocks may go up? Not saying they're justified going up because they would. Would you do that? Would you recommend that?
No, I do believe that what the ECB just did is going to be a boon for many European companies, because they're going to be able to create fortress balance sheets, borrowing cheap, and using that money to promote their business or buy their stock.
All right, so we'll leave it. So for the most part, what we've created is a scenario where everything is priced for perfection. So, Jim, upon further review, live by the sword, die by the sword. I mean, if these companies who've been buying back stock, if they miss, people see through it. Maybe that's why these UPSs of the world took the kind of hit you wouldn't normally expect.
You said these guys are being held to, or perfection's being expected. You talk about the Wall Street analysts that were cutting, lowering their ratings or from buys to holds because the markets are at all-time highs. So there's a nervousness. The fact is, earnings have been on whole on the kind of relatively weak side. Estimates for the first quarter of 15 are already being talked down. The finance sector has been dismal, particularly some of the largest banks. So there is a lot of pressure, and you're right. Any hint of a miss, even though actually some of the numbers have been pretty attractive, overall I think there's concern about the weakness.
Yeah, as a matter of fact.